Hi, this is Kerry Stover here at kerrysyntheticlubes.shopamsoil.com. Today I'm going to change out antifreeze, and I thought I'd start at the top. Here's a little tool that they have tools like this that you can measure the antifreeze concentration, and this one actually measures right where you'd want it, about 30-35 degrees below. That's normal. The reason I'm swapping this out, it's gotten a little bit cloudy. I have not put a water pump on this truck, and that's one of the reasons. Kept the coolant from being acidic. You can measure that as acid content with a little dip that they do, or a little strip that they do sell with AMSoil. But I'm going to swap it out. I'm not going to flush it. I looked down in the radiator. It's been replaced recently. A stone went through it, and that was just a couple years ago, so we should be good. Of course, we have our antifreeze from AMSoil. It's a 50-50 mix. And one of the things that most people don't do on a truck like this is put the coolant boost in. It's designed for diesels, and the reason it's there is to, help the engine warm up quicker, but it also keeps the top engine cooler. I live about 1.5 miles from work, so I'm thinking, hey, that can't hurt, and it's a good additive regardless. So we're going to start at the top. I have the radiator cap already loose. So you want to take it up, just loose it. I would leave it on, but not tighten down. And make sure it's not hot when you start. Nothing like being scalded by coolant. I've seen it done. But you can always use a couple rags if you're in doubt. That's the best thing to do. Put on top of that cap, push down, and twist. Most of your cars nowadays do not have a radiator cap right on the radiator. They have the coolant flow bottle on the side, and those allow you to release the pressure much safer. So we'll start here. I'll get us on the truck up in the air. I'll use a hoist so we can show you the underneath and what a few precautions you want to do when you're doing that also. Hey, this is Kerry underneath the undercarriage of my truck. You can see the coolant dripping out. See the little black knob there right above where it's dripping. That's all plastic. That's one of the things you want to be cautious with. Those don't always turn. If they give you much resistance, don't force it. You may be buying yourself a radiator or trying to fix it, and those don't always fix. So be really careful with that. The other option is to take the bottom radiator hose off. It's going to be a flush, you're going to make a mess, but you're not going to be buying a radiator. If you're taking that hose off and it gets to be hard to take off, it's better to cut the hose and buy a new one and make sure one's available. You can cut around it and twist it and get it off safely without ruining the radiator. They do tend to, I wouldn't call it weld on there, but sometimes they're really tough to get off. They have to be peeled off. So that's the thing to do there. I'm going to let this run for a little while. I have two hoses, a hose fastened on to the end of that. You can see it dripping off. It helps control where all the coolant goes. I take it down to the pan. I always have a couple pans because it always goes everywhere regardless. So that's just the easy part. As long as you take your time, I'll give lots of time to cool. And then go down underneath and turn that shut-off valve, and whenever you're done, make sure you turn it in, but not too tight. Again, it's plastic, it will break.